Welcome back to La Seu in the Spanish Pyrenees for the 2019 International Canoe Federation Canoe Slalom World Championships. It's finals time. We started with 81 competitors in the men's C1 competition, and we're down to the final 10. Now race in reverse order of the semi-final performance, with the world champion, the Olympic champion, Denis Gargaud-Canoe of France, going off last in this 10-boat final. So we started off 63 nations represented here in the World Championship field, and we have now 8 nations in this 10-boat final here in La Seu in Spain, in the Northern Pyrenees. What a setting for this great World Championship final. Myself, Andy Muddock, in the commentary box, bringing you the action as it unfolds, and alongside me, 3-time Olympian from the United States of America, Casey Eifeld. Welcome, Casey.
Thanks for having me back.
So, as you can see, perfect weather conditions here in La Seu, and we're eagerly anticipating the outcome of this men's C1 final. Then, of course, following this will be the women's K1 final. So, Casey, what are you most looking forward to in this men's C1 final?
Well, I mean, already these guys have done incredible work to make it to the finals. This has been an incredibly stacked World Championships. There have been over 80 canoe men to start off with the qualification. So it was already just a Herculean task to get here. I'm excited to see this racing we've got.
And actually, Olympic qualification is done, so the focus now is about the individuals going for gold in the World Championships.
Absolutely, and I think that might release some of the stress for them. They know that they've done their job here, and now they can just kind of go have fun with it, and that fun might just, well, bring them a World Championships medal. So I'm just excited to watch it. I'm hoping for some really tight racing, some really good racing. Excited to see the lines, and I love being stationed where we are. It's great to watch them.
Well, it is, as we say, 8 nations. We have 3 French boats in this final, and the World Championships has been hosted 3 times by La Seu here on this Olympic venue from the 1992 Games, and on each occasion, the previous 2 occasions, the world champion has been French. So we'll find out whether that is significant or not, but we are underway with the first of our 3 French paddlers. It's Martin Thomas of France, who starts his campaign for World Championship gold, but already an early penalty, and well, missed gate on gate 4. He'll go back for that, but time ticking away on the top section.
Yeah, you can see that maybe the pressure hasn't been released for him. He knows that his other 2 teammates in the canoe are in this finals with him, and he wants to show them that he's capable of competing with them. He's done that numerous times, but that doesn't release the pressure from you in later events, and so you can see that. But it looks like he's gained his composure back. Unfortunately, I think that those earlier mistakes are probably going to be a bit too much to overcome, but he still wants to show that he can compete.
Well, Martin Thomas is an established paddler in his own right. He was a silver medalist at this year's European Championships. That was on home water in Po, just over the Pyrenees from here. And as you say, Casey, it's a good point. 3 boats in the final here. Then for the French, the Olympic selection pressure is still on. They might have got the boat quota place, but there's still that tussle as to see who actually takes the boat selection for the French team to represent France at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. So we saw the fastest run time in the semi-finals was 90.52. That was a really quick time. It wasn't clean, and that was Luka Bozic of Slovenia. He'll be off later on, but it shows the kind of pace to take gold is going to be around the 92nd or less.
Yeah, absolutely. This 97.4 is a very respectable time considering the debacle that he faced at the top, but you can see the emotion there. He knows that he made a big mistake, and now it's in the, the ball is in the court of the other 2. He has to wait and see what they do.
So here's where the mistake was. On gate 2, that took the penalty, but then we see, well, on gate 4, he then had to recirculate back for the gate. That cost him time against the clock. No extra penalties. And of course, if you're new to this fantastic dynamic sport of canoe slalom, fast and clean is the name of the game. You have to negotiate the numbered gates in number order, and green and white gates in a downstream direction, red and white gates in an upstream direction, and stay off the poles because 2 seconds of penalties added on for touching a pole with any part of your body, your boat or your paddle, and 50 seconds penalty for incorrect negotiation, and well, that puts you well out of the game. So we have a packed house here in the Parc del Segre, here on the River Segre, flowing through La Seu, and eagerly anticipating these two finals this afternoon. This men's C1 final, we've got Spanish representation in both, so we can anticipate some big noise from that crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, next up, it is Cameron Smedley of Canada. Great to see Canada qualifying through into this final and securing a boat quota place. And Cameron Smedley, well, nothing to lose in this final. He can throw caution to the wind and go for it, but an early mistake again on gate at the top part of the course, gate 3, the penalty.
And I think picking up another penalty on gate 5, just popping that bow up underneath when he went for the punt. It's hard to watch. Cam and I have grown up together, and you know we've experienced a lot of the same successes and downfalls, and you know I feel very, very emotionally tied to him. So it's great to see him in the finals, but I'm feeling for him with the penalties. I know that he's wanting more out of it, but he can definitely, no matter what happens in the rest of this run, he can come away knowing that he's earned Canada an Olympic quota for the canoe, and that's a really incredible thing. Well,
yes, he can hold his head high, and it looks like he's kept his composure, because he's still put that mistake behind him, and he's recomposed himself. He's still on a good run, but 4 seconds penalties is a big ask to get in amongst the top 5 in the World Championship final. This is the biggest start line of the 4-year cycle, really, as people go for the Olympic quota places. 62 nations represented here, and huge, as you say, even huge competition just to get in the semi-finals, let alone the finals. So Cameron Smedley has found his rhythm on the bottom part of the course, and it's a good run, but the 4 seconds of penalties will put him outside the time of Martin Thomas of France. And Cameron Smedley goes into second for Canada. And well, the big surprise in the semi-finals was no German representation in this final, and actually no boat quota place for Germany. So they will have to come back to the continental qualifier at the European Championships to qualify that place. And a big surprise that well, Sidiris Tassiadis went out in the heats, and then the defending champion Franz Anton from last year didn't, I think, 19th in the semi-final, and not progressing through. So that's the big news.
It's pretty crazy. It's definitely a big upset, but I think if I understand the German selection process, it opens the door back up for Tassiadis, so that means that Olympic dreams for 2020 are not out of the realm of possibility for him.
Wow, well, it's the story is unfolding as we speak, as we watch Cameron Smedley of Canada, who's produced an outstanding performance to make it through. Just those 4 second penalties, creating a blemish there. 6 seconds of penalties in the final reckoning. As we have in this 10-boat lineup, we have only 2 world champions. We have Denis Gargaud-Canoe of France, who's world champion 2011. And we have David Florence here for Great Britain, who goes next. 2-time world champion 2013 and 2015, as he goes for, well, if he can put a good run down in this final, put the pressure on those still to come, that's what's required. And he's certainly a fearsome, aggressive competitor, no stranger to going off in a world championship final with lots at stake. Well, now smooth through 5 and 6. This is where he has really got to find the time in terms of the really opening out, sprinting. 6.12 up on the early split, so he's on track, but it's hard to tell at this stage because we haven't had a really competitive time yet.
Right. So far looking pretty good in the double ups, just a little bit hung up there in the second of the 2, but in and out, still keeping the pressure, getting the angle. Falling low into this up left here, but he's going to push hard to get himself out quickly.
Yeah, just got to wait on the back of the boat a little bit. The bow didn't grit the eddy, but no penalties on that section. David Florence, an Olympic silver medalist in Beijing in 2008. So he's lost a bit of that advantage now, but still very much attacking. It'll be interesting to see what he does on gate 20. Can he find some time as he sneaks in and out? Well, that's A little bit scrappy, but it's not bad on the clock, I think.
Yeah, still keeping himself off of the gate poles, just getting enough depth into that upright to keep the speed moving over to the last 2 downs.
Well, it's a respectable run for David Florence of Great Britain. He's going to take the race lead, but it's not going to be in the early 90s. 95.86. Great Britain's David Florence has gone into first place in this final. And he has left the door open, but he is in the bank, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 7 more athletes to go, and who knows what they're going to do. We just have to wait and watch, and that's one of the things that I love about sport is it's just you know nothing until the very end of it, and it's just exciting to watch.
Well, David Florence leads ahead of Martin Thomas of France and Cameron Smedley of Canada. 7 still to go in this. It is the World Championship final, men's C1 here, and we're live from La Seu in Spain. This great venue built for the 1992 Olympic Games, now hosting its 3rd World Championships. And well, these World Championships have been exciting, and this is where we really start to feel the tightness of the racing as we go for gold in this first of the individual finals over the course of this weekend. So David Florence, he knows he's done a good run, but he knows he's left it out there. He knows that like move on upstream 14, for example, a little bit of time still to come. But here's an opportunity for Spain's Ander Elosegui, 3-time Olympian, really consistent form when he pulls it together, and there's no one who is more familiar with this venue than Ander.
Looking tidy so far, keeping the boat on top of the water nicely. Just a little bit of the duck there, but that put him up to a nice line into the upstream gate 5, which is just a little bit of an awkward upstream because the eddy's not very large, and it's another upstream where it's just a great opportunity to hit your tail on the shoreline.
So it's a very smooth style, Ander. He's always graceful as he comes down the course, looking for the opportunities to accelerate, but equally really looking to work in harmony with the white water.
Very smooth so far, just a little bit hung up there, but you're seeing the composure. You can see the knowledge that he has of this course coming through in his paddling. It's looking nice.
Feeling it into 14, that's really nice and tight.
Yeah.
And such a technical move, that 13-14. You know, we are looking at the world's best paddlers, and they make it look easy, but it isn't.
Absolutely. Nice little duck back there.
He has the advantage, 3 seconds now ahead of race leader David Florence of Great Britain as he comes towards the final 5 gates on this course.
It was a very nice punt out of that upstream. It was interesting because it was kind of gentle, so he avoided the tail tap altogether, and that's part of that knowledge. Very smooth through the last up and the downs. He's coming in, and we're looking at a very good running time.
This is outstanding, and Spain's Ander Elosegui takes the race lead, 91.35. And, well, that is a good benchmark, and surely that's going to contest a medal.
Absolutely. I would be surprised, honestly, if it doesn't hold on to the podium. You know, we saw some similar times. We saw one time go particularly faster, but it did have a penalty, so it'll be really interesting to see what these guys are capable of pulling together. So far, the spread is actually quite wide. You know, we haven't seen super tight racing just yet, so I'm excited to see these last 6 boats and see what they can put together on this course.
So Ander Elosegui leads for Spain ahead of David Florence for Great Britain, Martin Thomas of France with 4 boats down, 6 to go in this World Championship men's C1 final. And well, of course, they're the 6 fastest boats from the semi-final, and some big pressure on those paddlers still to come now, because that's a good time. 91.35 from the home favourite in the men's C1. Ander Elosegui, who's finished 4th at the Olympic Games on 2 occasions. Never been on the World Championship podium, but maybe today will be his time. So, next up, it's Switzerland's Thomas Köchlin. Great to see Thomas make it through into this World Championship final and secure a place for Switzerland at the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo next year. Now, he will look to respond to that time set by Elosegui of Spain. I was like watching Thomas because he leaves nothing on the river, really attacking.
He is a very aggressive paddler, and it's always fun to see. You know, he's got kind of a Wolverine-esque sideburns that I like to poke fun at him a little bit for, but I think that that's just an attribute to go along with that aggression. You know, he is a paddler that really truly doesn't leave anything out on the course.
So half a second down on the early split, so he's in touch because he's getting to the more technical parts. And look at that, really taking the risk there. Good upstream edge on the run into 11. He's leaving nothing out there. Because the danger of that, if you're not quite familiar with slalom, if you give it too much upstream edge, then you can quickly flip the boat and have to roll. So Thomas tight out of 14 now coming into the second half of this course, but he's down, and down quite significantly on the race leader Ander Elosegui of Spain. Spain so far have had a good championships here. They had a couple of medals in the team events, including I was going to say a gold medal. Did they pick a gold medal up in the end? They certainly picked up a silver medal in the women's kayak team.
I do believe that they had the gold in the C1.
Well, yeah, you're right. In the women's C1, you're right. Anyway, we'll focus back on Thomas Kirklin because he's into third place, and the time just slipped away a little bit there. It is a clean run for Thomas Kirklin of Switzerland, but it is still Spain's Ander Elosegui leading the way, 91.35. David Florence for Great Britain still in second place, and Switzerland's Thomas Kirklin in third. Well, we're at the halfway point in this 10-boat final, and well, there'll be a little bit of a longer break, and hopefully we'll get a chance to speak to Ander Elosegui in a moment and see just what his secret was to get that time, 91.35. He certainly saved it right to when it matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Thomas Kirklin for Switzerland. Good to see him. He's made a few World Cup finals, but he's I think the World Championship final may well have eluded him up until now. But a respectable run, and well, we'll have to see where that leaves him in the final reckoning.
Well, we have a very happy race leader at the moment in front of his home crowd. Anders, what a fantastic run. What was it like for you out there?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. The run was fast and I was feeling great. And yeah, we'll see what's happened.
How was that crowd out there today?
Yeah, it's amazing. They all supported me a lot, so I'm very grateful for them.
And not only just the World Championships, it's also Olympic qualifying. You're off to Tokyo.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy. Yeah, I did the spot. Now in the final, we'll run in the final, so I can't be more happy.
Fingers crossed. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
So there, our race leader Ander Elosegui of Spain, 91.35, and well, it's going to seem like an eternity for him because we're racing at 3-minute intervals, so at least 15 minutes until he finds out whether he has done enough to take gold, his first World Championship title here on his home soil. And there's certainly some big names to come. We still have two French athletes, including the Olympic champion and the world champion of 2011. We have Alexander Slavkovsky, who's never been a world champion despite the success, the number of medals he has in his trophy cabinet. Luka Bozic, Mr. Consistent of 2019 for Slovenia, still to come. And Gregor Hedvig, who's consistently laid it down in the heats and the semi-finals, but up until now has not quite found it in the finals. Will today be his day? So there's our top three. Ander Elosegui in the middle. David Florence on the right-hand side for Great Britain in second, and Thomas Kirklin of Switzerland. But there we have a capacity crowd here in the Olympic Park. The Rio Segre, great legacy from the 1992 Olympic Games here. And now into the second half of this World Championship final. France's Cédric Joly is on course. Now Cédric is probably the youngest on the field, and very capable though. He was world champion at junior level in 2013. He's won medals at under 23 level and has had a couple of finals in senior competition. And it'll be interesting to see how he copes with the pressure. It looks good so far.
Yes, very smooth, keeping the boat running well, good power behind the strokes, keeping himself off the gates, going for the direct as a righty. Very nice little bounce there, keeping it moving very nicely through there. Almost a second up on the split.
So far so good for Cédric Joly of France. Now needs to line it up. Now he should be in a good position on this move under the bridge, 13 to 14, because
very nice.
On his onside he keeps his weight on the front. That's what cost David Florence a bit of time for Great Britain. He ended up on the back of the the boat and didn't quite grip the eddy, and he still kept that advantage. And remember, that's an advantage over Elasegi's time, which is very competitive indeed.
Just a little bit tight into that upstream, but he manages it well.
Wow, look at the margins there. Nothing left out on the river here. Now, this is the critical move. You've got to keep the boat speed in and out of 23. He does that because if you lose that boat speed, 24 and 25 become very difficult to stay off the poles. And Cédric Joly is right on it and into first place, 90.84.
Amazing. Good work, Cedric. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, he knows it. He has certainly spoilt the Spanish party for the gold medal. Wow. But it's bringing this final alive because we still have 4 boats to go. And it is Cédric Joly of France leading ahead of Ander Elosegui of Spain. Great Britain's David Florence in 3rd place. 4 to go in this World Championship final. Now, what was the secret there for Cédric?
You know, honestly, I don't remember him cutting things super tightly. He just kept himself in the middle of the gates, kept himself on the good water, keeping that boat momentum going. The boat momentum is so key, and when you start to pinch yourself on the gates, you're going to have to do more work, and it's going to be harder to keep that momentum going. It's very much like when you're driving your car. You don't go to the inside of the turn and take it really tight when it's a tight turn. You go to the outside and move to the inside. It's very similar for us. You know, a lot of times you have to really make sure that you're finding that good track, that good current, to make sure that that boat stays moving all the way. And a lot of times when you find that water, everything else falls into place.
Well, that's a good description. And, 4 to go now. And here is someone who has won multiple European titles. He's won multiple World Cup titles. He has won World Championship medals, but he's never won the world title, the gold medal. This, his opportunity. And also his opportunity to put some distance between him and his compatriots in the Olympic selection process. So Alexander Slavkovsky of Slovakia is very capable of challenging that time set by Cédric Joly, but it's going to take something special on this run.
So far, very smooth, good power.
So Alexander hails from Liptovsky Mikuláš in the Tatra Mountains in Slovakia.
Getting the bow caught a little bit there, and also we saw that he's about a second down off of Cedric's time.
Yeah, Cedric was very good. He had a real run of the boat, like you were saying, and Alexander, he looks good, but he looks like he's forcing it. He's certainly having to work hard here. That's a good move on 14, though.
Yeah, we can see that he keeps getting the bow caught, though, particularly when he has to do a crossbow draw to bring it back to the left. And so I wonder if that's just a result of some of the nerves. Almost 2 seconds.
So Cédric Joly there, our new race leader. That's Alexander Slavkovsky. Well, you would think you'd be looking for something special on 20. It's a tidy move, but he's not found any time.
Yeah, I don't think that there's 2 seconds to be found at the bottom of this course, especially the way Cedric ran the boat through these last few gates. He did not leave time behind him, so he is going to hold on to that lead.
Slavkovsky goes for a place on the podium, into 3rd place for Slovakia's Alexander Slavkovsky. And David Florence moves down to 4th place for Great Britain, but it is still France leading. Cédric Joly, 90.84. Then Ander Elosegui for Spain. And now, there we see it. Alexander Slavkovsky for Slovakia goes into 3rd place with 3 boats still to go. And at the moment, when we were saying that the site has hosted 3 World Championships, this is the 3rd time. And in this men's C1 event, France has won the world title on the previous 2 occasions. Manuel Brugvin in 1999, and then Tony Estanguet in 2009. And at the moment, it is Cédric Joly of France sitting pretty at the top, with still another French person to go, Denis Canoe, the Olympic champion. So Alexander Slavkovsky will, well, still that World Championship gold eludes him in a long and distinguished career. Now here is Mr. Consistent from 2019. It is Luka Bozic. Now he set the fastest raw time in the semi-final, but he had a penalty, so definitely one to watch. And he has been so consistent. Made the final in all of the World Cups this season, and a couple of times on the podium too. Luka Bozic goes for Slovenia. He takes the move on forwards, but already a penalty on the top section. Well, it'll be interesting to see how he responds to that, whether he throws caution to the wind and really just gives it his all. He knows he's fast enough, but that 2-second penalty, there we have it, 2.5 seconds down on the time set by race leader Cédric Joly of France.
Wow, that was a tricky little move there.
Yeah, he got really stuck on the pole, didn't he? But he just confidently did a big sweep and got himself out of trouble as he wraps himself around 14 as well. Well, we'll get an indication on the second split time as he comes down here as to how close he is. Well, 2.1, so he's found a bit of time, but he's still got a bit more to find if he really wants to challenge the podium space.
Yeah, and like we talked about before, Cedric had a very tidy bottom, and I'm just not sure that there's time, that much time at least, to be gained in these last few gates.
Yeah, Casey Eichfeld alongside myself, Andy Maddock here, bringing you the action live as it unfolds here in the World Championship final for the men's C1. Luka Bozic of Slovenia is on a quick time again, but well, look at that, his raw time under 90 seconds, but the 2-second penalty on gate 3 puts him down in 3rd place. What a run from Luka Bozic.
That's hard to watch.
89.92 was his raw time, but that touch, here we see it on the here on gate 3 with the front of his paddle shaft, and well, that makes the difference at this stage between gold and bronze. He'll think that through for a few weeks to come, I would have thought.
I think so, but incredibly exciting news for Cedric. That is a World Championship medal.
Good point there, Casey. So France guaranteed a medal. We don't know what colour, but actually as well, France still have another paddler to come in this World Championship final. So Luka Bozic currently sits in 3rd, but Cédric Joly sitting at the top, 90.84 for France. There he is in the middle. Then Andrea Segui for Spain, and Alexander Slavkovsky now drops down to 4th. So here is the man of the qualification rounds for this season. Gregor Hedrig of Poland has blitzed many rounds in the competition, but so far performing in the final has eluded him. Here he goes. Can he do it today when it matters? Get himself his first World Championship medal.
Opting for the direct line as the lefty there, and did it very nicely. I thought for a moment he was going to be just a little bit late, but he said, nope, I'm fine, I'm good, we're going to do this.
And he's no stranger to the pressure of the big competition. He was at the Rio Olympic Games, he finished 12th there, and well, he had a good performance coming into this competition with 4th place at the Prague World Cup final, which was 3 weeks ago.
Still very much in touch with the time.
Is indeed. 3/4 of a second is nothing, but that is expensive, not only with the penalty but also on the clock. And unfortunate there, because he was really attacking the move and just ended up just ploughing into the side of the riverbank. In some ways, he's got out with just that 2-second penalty, there was a moment I thought he might not get out around the gate correctly.
I was thinking that as well, but there is a star sitting next to his name already, which means that they are reviewing that. But such a big hit, I'm not surprised at all.
And of course, during any final here, the ICF, the video team will review live as it goes down the course. So that is fairly standard practice, just to make sure that everything is a fair competition is recorded. Gregor Hedvig, it's a good time, but that mistake on gate 11 is costly. And Cedric Joly gets to breathe again with one boat to go. France know that they have a gold medal in this competition. They don't know who with, though.
Yep, absolutely. And more great news for Ander Elosegui. That's a medal for him at his home World Championships.
Yeah, Spain, we've been welcomed here to La Seu Urgel throughout the course of, well, many weeks as athletes are prepared for this competition. And, well, it's been great to be back here. And, well, great that the home country have picked up another medal, at least, and we still have as we come there looking at the asterisk, the outcome of that review is that Gregor Hedvig of Poland has a 50-second penalty. There we saw it on gate 11, not his whole head around the gate, unfortunately. So for Gregor Hedvig, it's not the run he wanted, but it does confirm what we were saying. France are confirmed to be world champions, but they don't know with whom, because we still have one boat to go. He's the Olympic champion from Rio 2016. He's the 2011 world champion. He's had a really inconsistent start to the season, but he's hit form just when it matters. Denis Gargaud-Canoe is on course. Well, we now know that the 3 world championships held here in La Seu in the men's C1 have always ended up with a French winner.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, Denis looking very good on the course. He opted for the spin despite being a lefty at the top ledge. So I'm curious to see how that's going to reflect in the first split time. But it looks like he's not too terribly far out. 1 second is a bit of a gap, though, now. But did he just pick up a penalty? He did.
I think he did.
Now we're going to be about 3 seconds back. So that is going to be costly and difficult to overcome. Just a little bit hung up there in the upright. But he did manage to get to the wall, get a good shove out, and keep that momentum moving. Now he's going to look for that nice bounce. Oh, it's a little bit low, too. Time is slipping away for him.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much time he has lost on those, well, with that penalty, and a little bit low on 14. Cedric Joly looking nervously on, 4.46 seconds down. And it's not really about gold now, it's about whether Denis Gargaud-Canoe can get on the podium here in La Seu. Well, he's tight, super tight on 20, and it was a little bit sticky on the exit. That's going to cost him against the clock. It looks like it's going to be gold for Cedric Joly of France. Where is Denis Gargaud-Canoe going to finish as he sprints towards the finish? It is a quick time, but only into 5th place for Denis Gargaud-Canoe, the Olympic champion, and it is gold for Cedric Joly of France. Silver for Spain, Ander Elosegui, and a well-deserved bronze for Luka Bozic, Mr. Consistent of 2019, and you can see the relief there amongst the top 3.
That was truly an amazing finals to watch.
And of course, we are just over the mountains from France, so a lot of French fans have made the journey across the Pyrenees to support their team. And well, they have been rewarded today. 3 boats in the final, and they have a world champion in Cedric Joly, who takes his first ever senior world championship medal, and he makes it gold.
Just amazing.
So Denis looked like he never really got into his run. He didn't quite show the kind of rhythm and composure he had in the semi-final.
I would agree with that. And, you know, Cedric was so on. I would say that he was pretty much in about the best zone you can be, because it was so clear and decisive where he wanted to be, where he wanted that boat to go. It was tracking well the whole time, and that's a really hard mind space to find consistently. And so when you've got 10 different athletes in the finals, it's hard, you know.
Well, we're here now with a very happy world champion, Cedric Joly. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was amazing run. The crowd was. I've never seen a crowd like this. I'm really amazed.
You're obviously quite emotional. What does this mean for you today to be a world champion here?
It means everything. I had a harsh season, so I cried after making it to the final. So now it's just pure happiness.
Not only are you a world champion, you may be off to the Olympics. Who knows? What does that mean for you?
It's not decided. The federation will decide in 1 week. So, but I mean, I'm happy enough.
Congratulations, Cedric. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, there we have the world champion, newly crowned Cedric Joly. Clean run, 90.84, takes gold for France. And Elosegui takes a silver, his first world championship medal. And it's silver for Spain. And Luka Bozic of Slovenia, the only Slovenian in the final, which was a bit of a surprise, takes the bronze. So Alexander Slavkovsky of Slovakia, who probably you would have been a bit of a favourite for a medal, has to settle for 4th place. Denis Gargaud-Canoe of France in 5th. David Florence of Great Britain, 2-time world champion, settles for 6th place. And, well, tight racing there. Top 7 separated by less than 6 seconds. And the podium spots really just 1.08 seconds separating the podium. And, of course, Luka Bozic had that touch.
Yeah, absolutely. He proved his worth out there. To be able to pull a raw time of sub 90 seconds is really incredible on this tight and technical course. And, you know, he's going to be certainly happy with that bronze medal, but he's going to be kicking himself. You know, had he not reached out and punched that gate, he'd be the one sitting at the top of the podium today.
Yep, and, well, I'm sure over the next couple of weeks he'll think quite a few times about that move on gate 3. But I think canoe slalom is one of those sports where the word "if only" comes up quite a lot.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
If I was a couple of seconds quicker and clean, I'd have won that race. Well, don't go away, because up next will be the women's kayak final. Top 10 boats from the women's kayak semi-finals will be racing it out again to determine who takes the 2019 ICF Canoe Slalom World Championship title. And we have a class lineup in that field. But let's just recognise Cedric Joly takes the gold for France. And, well, this great venue, look, this sums up the weather here we've had this week. Superb.
Beautiful blue skies surrounded by beautiful mountains. I mean, what more could you ask for? Beautiful, perfect weather. It's the right temperature. Makes me wish I was racing.
Well, we're going to watch the women's kayak final now. Here is the lineup. And, well, we'll be led off by Mayelen Charroux, the Olympic champion for Spain, who sneaked into the final after a disappointing semi-final run. But they all start from 0. So if she puts one down, that could really challenge. But Ricarda Funk of Germany has really stated her intent in the semi-final. But, of course, let's not rule out the likes of Jessica Fox. And, well, Eva Tersel's had a really consistent season as well for Slovenia.
Yeah, absolutely. She's definitely coming into her own and just proving more and more every day that she is a very capable paddler that belongs in the top.
So it's really, as we get ready for the women's kayak final, it's probably good to note that Mayelen Charroux, despite the fact that she's been a dominant force on the circuit for a number of years, in fact, I think she was on the podium here in 2009. She took a silver medal at the World Championships here. She's never won the world title. She's won the Olympic Games, she's won a bronze medal at the Olympic Games, but the world title has eluded her. Will today change that?
I guess we're going to have to wait and see. You know, it's interesting. She was kind of handed a gift today, which is a very similar gift that she actually gave to Jessica Fox in 2017. 10th place, waiting on the bubble, and in the last couple of gates, lost it and just gave her an opportunity.
Jessica Fox took that opportunity and won the world title from 10th place. Will Mayelen Giroux of Spain set the marker that no one else can beat today? In front of her home crowd, she is on course. She looked very nervous in the semi-finals, and I have to say already she looks much more attacking, much more at ease.
Yeah, so far smooth, keeping it on top of the water. Very precise with where she's putting the boat. Maybe just a little bit of an interesting line there. So slightly hung up, but she's got good power and pressure on the blades here, moving through this corner here. Timing her strokes well.
Well, we know the fastest run time in the semi-final was 94.61. That was the fastest raw time. That was Jessica Fox of Australia. But she had a 2-second penalty, but it was still enough to get into the final. But that gives you an indication of the kind of time it's going to take the gold medal here today in La Seo. But she's low on 14.
And, you know, that's got to kill her a little bit, because think about how many thousands of times she's done that move, and in the World Championships finals for that classic move to slip away from her. But it means nothing at the moment. She just needs to hold it together for the rest of the run.
Yeah, this critical section here, you've got to keep the straighter the boat is through the sequence, the faster the time. A bit more rotation than she might have liked. And, ooh, is that... Well, it is a 50-second penalty on the upstream 20. It was glory or bust, and on this occasion, unfortunately for Mayelen, it's not going to be today.
You got to think that she knows it too.
Yep, she comes down to the finish. It's going to be a quick time. What's that? 98.11 plus the 50-second penalty. And, well, she acknowledges the huge number of Spanish fans here come out today in the sunshine to enjoy this World Championship final. But it's not going to be another medal for Spain today. The Olympic champion, the bronze medalist at the London 2012 Olympic Games as well. She, as I say, won silver 10 years ago here at the World Championships. But today, well, that 50-second penalty will put her off the podium. How far off? Well, we'll have to find out. Here's the move. And, well, assuming that penalty stands, then it's determined that her whole head is not through the gate line. And, well, certainly she left it up to the judges to make that decision.
And we can see here from the results available to us that the asterisk next to her name has actually come off, which means that they are done with the video review and they won't look at it again.
Yeah, well said, Casey. So, myself, Andy Muddock, and alongside me, Casey Eichfeldt, bringing you the action live from La Seu, Rochelle in the northern part of the Spanish Pyrenees. Next up, Elena Appel of Germany is on course in her first World Championship final, racing in the kayak and the canoe event. And, well, uncharted territory for her, but already a penalty on the upstream gate 5. Just the bows of the boat just bobbed up underneath the pole, and 2 seconds of penalty added on to her time. So Germany's Ricarda Funk is still to come in this final, and Germany 2 representatives. We've got 9 nations in this final, so really diverse split, and just the one nation, Germany, with more than one boat. And Elena Appel putting in a good run here, but again, not quite as tight into 14 as she might have liked. But it is a tricky move to get in tight and get the exit.
Absolutely. You know, she for the most part things are going okay, but there's time slip here and there. She's fallen a little bit low into some of the upstreams. I think just barely missing the windows, and sometimes that tiny window is just enough to let a large gap of time slip away from you.
Yeah, so Mayelen Giroux from Spain, the first paddler down, was very quick up to the sort of gate 20 point when she picked up that 50-second penalty. And well, Elena Appel of Germany will take the race lead in this World Championship final. She goes in 104.63 into first place, but the door still wide open for those still to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we would expect you'd have to go under 95 seconds to take the gold here today, or that's my anticipation. What do you think?
I would think that's definitely an option, definitely a possibility. I would love to see that. I really want to see these girls just absolutely push themselves. These women are so powerful and strong and proven themselves to make it to these finals against some very heated competition. And I think that the best thing we could all look for is sub 95 for sure. It'd be exciting.
And I think I'm really looking forward to the battle between Jessica Fox and Ricarda Funk, who've been, arguably the form boats. It's a pity Mallory Franklin is not in the race. She's been a form boat of this season. She had penalties in the semi-final and doesn't progress through. But let's not rule out the likes of Anna Satila, Stephanie Horn, Kimberly Woods, Ava Tersel. They're always in there ready for striking.
Absolutely. Once you're in the finals, everything is a possibility.
So here is Kimberly Woods of Great Britain, the sole Great Britain representative in this final, going for the World Championship gold here. And of course, racing in the Women's C1 semi-final tomorrow.
She's so far finding those lines that are letting the boat keep moving, which is really nice. She's staying on top of the water well. She had a good spin where the boat really didn't slow down. Wow, interesting. I didn't catch the touch on gate 5.
I wonder whether that was a late on the exit when she went for the punt, because I didn't see it. But she's still up on the split. But remember, Elena Apple's time that's compared to is quite a little bit distant to where we might expect the pace to be.
Right. Very nice punt, though, in the first upstream of the double. Keeping the boat moving well, getting that angle prepared. Just a little bit on the tail, so she slipped a little bit, but she kept the height in the uplift.
She's having to work hard, isn't she, on this run? I mean, she's only raced in 3 big competitions this season. And this is her 3rd final. And 5 seconds up, so she is building on that advantage, and she's nice and straight through this sequence, running into the upstream. Tidily done, a little bit sticky on the back end of the boat, but now 3 gates over Niagara into the upstream, and nicely done there.
Now pull. Gotta pull. Wow.
Wow, that is as tight as you want to take it. I think it was probably too tight, but it kept it clean. Kimberly Woods now in at 99.04 into the race lead. Now she has left the door wide open, but it's a good performance for Great Britain's Kimberly Woods. That 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 5. And, well, she knows she is, I think that might, well, we'll have to wait and see, but that might well be a personal best for her at the World Championship. She's definitely made a World Championship final before.
Oh, and there's that penalty just on that outside pole.
Yeah, that
little bump with the boat.
Oh, it's a great view. You can see just
Point.
it was the punt. Just
pop that bow right up under it.
A ricochet off the wall, and the knuckle just came up under the pole.
Now that punt was beautiful.
So Kimberly Woods of Great Britain there into the race lead in the early stages of this 10-boat World Championship final. It's the women's kayak competition, and of course we still have tomorrow the men's K1 and the women's C1 finals and semi-finals. So 8:30 Central European time, they will be live. You can follow that at Planet Canoe. But let's watch Stephanie Horn of Italy, who she's had a World Cup win this season. Always a consistent performer, and certainly very familiar with the kind of pressure that goes on at this kind of World Championship final level.
Yeah, she's had a great season so far. She's definitely proven that she can hold it together for these finals. She's moving the boat pretty well. There's been a little bit of some hiccup here and there so far, but she is very powerful and she's super experienced, so she's going to know how to manage that well. Oh my goodness, almost 2 seconds up on the split.
Well, that's a great start for Stephanie Horn. She was 8th at the Rio Olympics, so no stranger to the kind of pressure that you need in this final. And she has picked up a penalty, though, on the downstream gate 8. So that's that advantage is now pretty much level with race leader Kimberly Woods of Great Britain. But very good through 13 to 14 fighting it a little bit, but now coming down through this sequence. Now, this camera angle really gives you an idea. The less rotation, the faster it is.
Right. It might look a little weird, but just getting that head duck right back into the second of the downs in that offset is really beneficial, because you keep your boat in the moving water that's traveling in the direction you want to be going into. So sometimes it does pay off to actually point the boat a different direction than where you're trying to get going.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, Stephanie Horn is keeping it absolutely on the power to the finish, and it's going to be tight, but it's outside of race leader into second place for Stephanie Horn of Italy. So Kimberly Woods gets to breathe again for Great Britain. The current race leader 99.04. Stephanie Horn second, Elena Appel in third for Germany. But that total 99.04 is still quite wide open compared to where we got to with the semi-finals.
Here now we can see what it was that the judges saw that we opened there just very barely before they cut to the next. Oh, the tiniest of movements.
Yeah, well, the judges will look at those gates and watch it live so that the result is confirmed as soon as possible after each athlete's run. And, well, that is almost, I think that's the challenge with canoe slalom. That's why what makes us so engaged in it is the fine margins, isn't it, between the ultimate run and actually just a little penalty like that, and,
right,
and it's all over.
Right. The variabilities of this sport are infinite, and anything goes.
So it is next Eva Tercel of Slovenia, who has had a really consistent season, silver overall in the World Cup 5-race series this 2019 season, and that has included 4 World Cup finals from the 5 races. She was 13th at the London 2012 Olympic Games, and really you'd expect her, the level of consistency she has, and she always looks so composed when she's paddling, to deliver something special here.
Yeah, and it looks like she's got a good advantage right now.
2.42, so it's a good start. Now she's got to stay focused, composed on this more technical section through.
Very smooth.
Wow, that's good.
It's interesting to see the different athletes that are opting for the high approach to the second upstream and the low one. The goal being obviously getting in high into the upstream, but also making sure that you've got a good angle so that you're not going to hit the wall like we saw Gregor Hedwig do.
So Slovenia already picked up a bronze medal earlier on with the men's C1, and she's maintained that advantage, 2.28. It's been trimmed a little bit. Kimberly Woods knows it's under threat there, the race leader at the moment for Great Britain. Eva Tercel, a little bit sticky in 20, but it's still looking like it's going to be our new race lead as she comes into 23.
Nice.
Wow!
This is very good. Keep it in the middle of the gates and just turn on the afterburners.
I'm not sure you would plan to take that much risk, but it's worked out for her. Eva Tercel is the race leader,
Amazing.
94.27. Wow, this race has suddenly come alive.
That was truly an incredible run. She really, really pulled it together in those last gates, and she found herself another 2.5 seconds. I'm not even sure where it was, but it was so smooth. She kept herself in the middle of the gates. It was key to make sure that she did that upright well. She did gain, I think, a little bit of time there. That was a very sketchy line, though, to be honest, because we've seen so many athletes do the exact same thing, and it went tragically for them. But she put the strokes in the right place and kept the momentum going where it needed to go.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to know whether she planned that line, because it was high risk, but it worked for her.
I'm going to almost guarantee you she did not.
Well, it's all about the delivery. She's done that. That's the move that won her, well, I wouldn't say won her. I think it's won her a medal. We'll just have to wait and see what colour, because Eva Tercel, 94.27. We said it would take under 95 to be on the podium, and that is an impressive run for Eva Tercel of Slovenia. And if we actually think about what the kind of times by the men's C1, then it is an impressive performance. Well, that's a great stage, really. We're halfway through this World Championship final. Eva Tersel has really tightened the screw, not just a one notch, I think a couple of notches for those still to come.
I agree with that completely. I think if I remember correctly, her current time now is actually faster than Jessica's raw time, which was also a 94, but she got her by a couple of tenths. So this is an incredibly competitive time.
Well, that was a pretty incredible run there from Eva. 4 seconds quicker than the rest of the field. How did you feel?
I don't know, I didn't think much. I was just pushing hard, trying to stay concentrated, and I'm really happy with my run.
A lot of emotion after the race, a lot of very happy people. What does it mean for you here today?
Yeah, it means to me a lot. Like, the whole season has been really great for me, and I was also training really hard, and this is like the biggest confirmation of my hard work and my team's hard work.
5 more athletes to come. How do you feel at this stage? Do you think you can do it?
We'll see. I'll keep my fingers crossed for me, but yeah, let them show.
Well done, Eva.
Thank you.
Well, there's one happy athlete there, Eva Tersel of Slovenia, 94.27. Well, it's going to be a nervous wait for her, but surely that is enough for a podium place. But if I look at the names still to come, then it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, there are some incredible names here. Most of them are either Olympic or world champion medalists. So we've got a good battle ahead of us.
So still 5 boats to go. They're the fastest 5 boats from the semi-finals. And as you say, Casey, you've got Jessica Fox, the multiple world champion. She's a 2-time Olympic medalist. We've got Luka Jones, Olympic silver medalist from Rio. We've got Katarina Kuriova, the world champion of 2015. Ricarda Funk, who's pretty much won everything except the world title. And, well, here we have it. Luka Jones of New Zealand made it to her 4th World Championship final today. The Olympic silver medalist from Rio 2016. She took a silver medal, I think, in the World Cup 2 in Bratislava this season. She's picked and chosen her races this year in order to prepare for these championships. And she is on the pace. And if we think about the fact that there's nothing to choose on the split time compared to that fast time of Eva Tersel, then Luka Jones is in a good place early on.
She is attacking right now. She is one of the few people that we've seen opt for the direct line in that offset above the double upstream, and she smashed it. She did so well. Just a little bit low here into this up left, but I think that she probably built up a bit of an advantage enough to absorb that margin now. Now we'll see in the second split.
She's gained some time, and she was super slick in the semi-final on the upstream gate 20. We can anticipate her taking a risk here, which she is going to do again, and she makes it work for her. A little bit sticky. She doesn't quite get on the gas straight away after the upstream, but Luka Jones is very much in the hunt on this bottom section for taking the race lead. She's certainly going to be tight on the finishing line. It's going to be close.
Oh my goodness.
And outside, but into second place, and still under 95 seconds. Luka Jones of New Zealand has, well, she has put a marker down, 94.77, half a second down on Slovenia's Eva Tersel. And there we have Eva Tersel gets to breathe again. Luka Jones of New Zealand into second place. Kimberly Woods moves down to third place for Great Britain, and Stephanie Horn of Italy now off the podium in 4th.
Those last few strokes for Luka really got my heart rate going. That was very tight.
So there we see the characteristic of Luka there. She really attacked that course, didn't she?
Yeah, all the way through. I think that honestly it would have been hers, but she just lost a little bit of time in that last upright. You know, you could see it took a couple more strokes than I think she had available to her.
Yeah, and you say that, but of course Eva Tersel was so good in that upstream as well. That's where she found probably a second on everybody on that really, really high-risk line that worked for her.
Exactly.
So we still have 4 to go. it is Eva Tersel leading for Slovenia. 94.27 is the time to beat. Next up, Ana Satila of Brazil, 4th in the overall World Cup standings this season. And she took a silver medal at the last World Cup of the season just 3 weeks ago in Prague. So very much on form, and I always love watching Ana because she does take risks. She attacks the course, leaves nothing out there.
And we can see that in the first 4 gates. She head ducked the first 3 of them. So she is really going for it. She's cutting those lines, trying to squeak out as many tenths of a second as she possibly can.
So let's watch her as she comes down through here. Well, she's in touch, 0.67 down on the split, and really good. Gets the bows down and accelerates 9 to 10.
Very nice.
Well, you can't get any tighter than that without picking up a penalty. Ana Satila has really found the groove here. But low on 14. That won't cost her any penalties, but it will just take a couple of tenths or maybe a bit more on the split.
You know, it's like we talked about earlier. Wow, right on the split, so competitive still. There is no time to be lost.
Well, we are in for a treat here in this World Championship final. We've got some quality paddling going on here, and Ana Satila it's all down to this move. This is where Eva Tersel, the race leader, was so good. Well, Ana Satila, it's still good. She's taking a direct line at the finish. And, well, we'll have to wait and see on 24, but she's sprinting to the finish. And it is a 50-second penalty for Ana Satila of Brazil. And, well, she took a risk. She took a direct line on that move from the upstream 23 to 24. And what a pity. What a run spoilt there.
Yep. It's just another example of taking that last little risk, trying to squeeze out a little bit more.
I think, we need to applaud all of these paddlers because they are leaving it out there on the river. They're absolutely, here we see it. So, very direct line. And, well, there's the video judges reviewing the penalties in race control. And certainly...
Here's the angle right here.
It's no boat in the gate line at the same time, and certainly left it to the judges to decide. What a pity for Ana Satila of Brazil. You can see her disappointment.
You know, it's a difficult place to be in when an athlete or paddler has to really extend and stretch their body that much to try and get their head and boat into the gate. They are in a difficult position. First off, it's probably unlikely they're going to get what they want out of it, but also they're now making it harder for them to go wherever it is that they need to go next.
Well, disappointment for Brazil's Ana Satila, but Jessica Fox, the world #1, is on course. 3-time world champion in this event, but also multiple world champion in the C1 event. For Australia, Jessica Fox is now coming down this course. She looked super composed on the semi-final run. She did pick up a penalty, but she was the fastest in raw time. And as you said earlier, she's going to have to go faster than she managed in the semi if she wants to take the win here. And she is already ahead.
Opting for the spin there, but keeping everything really smooth and tidy. Nice punt there, opting for the lower line. Gets the bow angle back up and in and out.
Wow, this is a demonstration of why she is the world #1. She's the World Cup champion. She is the reigning world champion. And that move there, she kept it cool.
And you know, the key was she slowed down before the drop. She didn't charge into it. She killed that speed so that the hull could do the work for her. And that was really key.
She's found some time on Tersel of Slovenia. Now, we do know that Tersel was really strong on the last few gates, so Jess may well need that time on the bottom, and not the best on 20, but Jessica Fox of Australia absolutely challenging for the world title here in Lascaux. And again, that's a tight line, and she pulls it off.
Oh, good exit though too. She got out far enough, but also kept the momentum moving down. This is going to be an attack. Here it comes.
Oh, into second place. Jessica Fox of Australia is, she loses time, and it just shows, I think, more, not so much where Jessica wasn't so good at the bottom, it was just how good Eva Tersel was on that bottom section.
Absolutely.
So-
Look at this, top three within half a second of each other.
So Eva Tersel of Slovenia holds on to the race lead with 2 boats to go. Jessica Fox of Australia, the reigning world champion, will have to settle for at least silver. It may be lower. Luca Jones of New Zealand sits in bronze medal position at the moment with 2 to go.
Well, we are already into our second finals of these World Championships, and Eva has now guaranteed Slovenia their second medal of the 2. So I think that she already, amazing work, but that run was just, it was to die for. It looked really good.
She'll be pleased with that. She'll reflect on that. And of course, these World Championships are a real stepping stone into the Olympic year. And, you know, strong performance into the Olympic year really gives I guess a little psychological advantage going into those Olympic Games. So Katarina Kuryova of the Czech Republic now, the world champion of 2015. She was in the Olympic Games in Rio, where she finished 10th, and hasn't had such consistent form since the 2015-2016 season, but has come into form in the back end of this season just when it matters. It'll be intense competition for the Olympic spot in the Czech team. That won't be decided until the spring of 2020. And, well, Katarina, she's in touch. 0.58 down. She can't afford to let that grow too much because, as you say, there's just half a second separating the top 3 at the moment.
Very nice double up here, keeping everything really tight. Getting that boat moving. She gets that angle set up here.
Wow, that's tight into 14.
Yeah, it was interesting. She opted to go a little bit more into the middle of the drop and take a bigger hit, but it kept her high into the upstream. Maybe lost a little bit of speed, but she's powerful and she was able to pull it through there.
Yeah, she's closing the gap on the race leader, Eva Tersel of Slovenia. 0.16 now. So Katarina Kuryova is on the charge now, and looks like she's got a clean move on 20. Kept the tail off the wall. That can slow down the exit, but this is the critical move.
All right.
It's tidy. It's not as quick as Tersel of Slovenia, and it's all going to be down to the sprint. Kuryova of the Czech Republic, the world champion in 2015, is into 4th place, and just 1.49 down on race leader. But such is the class of the competition, that's not going to make it onto the podium today. So Tersel now knows that she's guaranteed a silver medal. Jessica Fox will get a medal. And Luca Jones of New Zealand sitting in bronze. You can see her on the left of our picture here, just waiting to see. And well, the pressure must be intense, and just the nervousness, the nervous energy at this stage.
Absolutely.
1 to go in this World Championship Women's K1 final here in La Seu Urgell in the Spanish Pyrenees. We'll be live tomorrow with the Women's C1 semi-finals at 8:30 Central European time, and the men's kayak semi-finals will follow on from that, and of course the finals get underway at 12 o'clock Central European time, so you can follow that live on Planet Canoe. But wow, we're still waiting because there is one boat still to come in this final, and if anyone is capable of beating Eva Tersel of Slovenia, it is the next boat down.
Ricardo the Rocket.
Yes, she's not called Ricarda the Rocket for nothing. Ricarda Funk of Germany is on course. The second German in this 10-boat final. And, well, she hasn't raced all of the races, but look, oh, a touch early on in the competition on gate 3. She her last outing was at Markkleeberg in Germany at the World Cup, and she didn't just win that race, she stormed through in the final to take the gold. She always looks so composed, but don't be deceived because she is quick. Look, she's quicker in raw time. Can she start to eat away and cancel out that penalty?
Opting for the lower line, gets that bow up.
Wow, she's keeping the boat running. Just watch the boat, because that gives you an indication of how fluid, how fast she is.
Just a little bit of extra slide, maybe more than she wanted. But you can see how she's really placing her strokes very strategically. You can see that right there, for example. She is super strategic about where she places it, getting the pressure in the right place. Nice little head duck here, keeping the boat in the current, moving it well.
So
now let's see.
She was a bronze medalist at the last World Championships in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. But how desperate was she to take the gold here? And she's still on track, but that 2-second penalty is maybe going to be asking too much today. Ricarda Funk of Germany is through the last gate. She's sprinting to the finish, but she's outside the podium. And into 5th place there for Ricarda Funk of Germany. 97.21, and actually that time would have been into 4th place. Such is the battle that time, even without the penalty. It is Eva Tersel of Slovenia. They're being greeted by Peter Kauser of Slovenia, the world champion here back from 2009. Eva Tersel of Slovenia is our world champion for 2019. What a result, and I know the Slovenians are here in force. They've made the journey and it's been worthwhile. 2 medals, a bronze and a gold in today's sessions.
Well, Eva, I don't know whether you're aware of this, but you're world champion.
Yeah, I'm not aware of this. I still think I'm dreaming. I'm so happy about it. Yeah, actually, I was dreaming about this and thinking about becoming world champion for a long time, but now it's amazing. Yeah, I think I've been through a lot ups and downs, and this is like, it's all paid, and yeah, I'm just so happy.
I mean, you've had quite a good season, but it's always the World Championship. You've never made a podium. Today you've managed to get everything right.
Yeah, well, yeah, after this such a great season, I had almost all finals, so I was confident, but I'm just really happy that I didn't think much before the start, just what's ahead of me about my task, and yeah, I'm just, yeah, it's superb.
The difficult thing, Eva, for you is there are people all around you celebrating because they're also going to the Olympics. You have to wait a little bit longer yet. How does that feel?
Yeah, never mind. I knew that my qualification for Olympics isn't over here, so I just really wanted to have good World Championships to make a good result, and this is the best ending that I could ever imagine.
Congratulations, Eva. World champion. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, the world champion crowned for 2019 in the women's K1 event. Eva Tersel of Slovenia takes gold. Jessica Fox, the reigning world champion, has to settle for silver on this occasion. And New Zealand's Luca Jones takes the bronze medal in what a competitive final. And just a half a second separating those top 3.
That was unbelievable racing. My heart rate is still up there quite a bit, but I'm so happy for all of these women. They really went out there. They showed some incredible grit, pushed hard, left it all out on the course. It's awesome to watch.
And this is where surely Eva Tersel won the world title, up 23. She was untouchable on that move.
Barely in the gate, just enough to make it legal. And then out she goes.
Yeah, and it just shows the risks these athletes have to take. In order to win, you've got to be prepared to lose.
Absolutely.
So the margins are tight in the Canoe Slalom World Championships. Then tomorrow we'll be live from 8:30 Central European Time with the women's C1 semi-finals, followed immediately by the men's K1 semi-finals. And then, of course, 12 o'clock Central European Time we will be live with the women's C1 finals and the men's K1 finals. This women's K1 and men's C1 finals, well, they have not disappointed. The adrenaline is still pumping around my body just watching it. Here is confirmation of the results. Ava Tersel of Slovenia, world champion 2019. Jessica Fox of Australia takes silver. Luca Jones of New Zealand takes the bronze. And what a race. Look at the margins in that competition. So from Laseo Duchel in northern Spain, then myself, Andy Maddock, and Casey Eichfeldt of the United States of America, we have enjoyed your company here on Planet Canoe, and what a competition we've seen. We'll see you again tomorrow for those women's C1 and men's K1 semi-finals, 8:30 Central European time. But for now, it's goodbye from La Seu Urgel in Spain.